Hey muscle car fanatics, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving headfirst into a rivalry as old as the asphalt itself, the 1971 Oldsmobile 442 W-30 versus the 1972 Buick GS455 Stage 1. Two titans from General Motors, each representing the absolute pinnacle of their brand's performance philosophy, right as the lights were dimming on the golden age of muscle. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's set the stage. The early 70s were a turbulent time. The unholy trinity of crushing insurance premiums, new EPA regulations, and corporate mandates to lower compression was strangling horsepower. These two machines are some of the last, most glorious gasps of that era. The 1971 442 W-30 was a final, no-holds-barred statement from Oldsmobile, a defiant roar against the changing times. The 1972 GS455 Stage 1, on the other hand, showcased Buick's more strategic approach, using clever engineering and massive torque to deliver its power with a sophisticated punch. So, which legend truly reigns supreme? Let's find out. The years 1971 and 1972 represent a pivotal, turbulent turning point in American automotive history. The unbridled horsepower wars of the late 1960s, a period of glorious excess and engineering bravado, were coming to an abrupt and unceremonious end. A powerful confluence of forces, the unholy trinity of societal and regulatory pressures, was closing in on the big block muscle car. Insurance companies, alarmed by the escalating power and associated risks, began levying punitive premiums on high-performance models, making them prohibitively expensive for their core demographic. Simultaneously, a growing environmental consciousness culminated in the establishment of the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency in December 1970, which quickly enacted stringent emissions control standards. The final blow came from within. A corporate-wide General Motors mandate stipulated that all 1971 and newer engines must be capable of running on low-lead or unleaded regular-grade gasoline, forcing a drastic reduction in compression ratios across the board. This new reality presented an existential crisis for performance engineers at every GM division. The old formula for horsepower, high compression, aggressive camshafts, and free-flowing exhaust, was suddenly obsolete. The challenge was no longer simply to make more power, but to preserve performance in an era of restriction. From this crucible emerged two of the last and arguably most interesting titans of the classic muscle car era, the 1971 Oldsmobile 442 W-30 and the 1972 Buick GS455 Stage 1. They stand as two distinct, brilliant answers to the same difficult question. The Oldsmobile represents a final, defiant roar, a machine built by engineers who fought to keep it as untamed as possible within the new rules. The Buick, conversely, embodies a more strategic approach, leveraging a philosophy of overwhelming low RPM torque to deliver its performance with a sophisticated, almost surprising authority. So, which legend truly reigns supreme? Let's find out. The 1971 Oldsmobile 442 with the W-30 option package was more than just a car. It was a statement of intent from a division that had built its reputation on engineering prowess. In an era of detuning, the W-30 was Oldsmobile's ultimate effort to preserve raw, unadulterated performance. The heart of the package was the 455 cubic inch Rocket V8, an engine that, in W-30 guise, was effectively blueprinted at the factory. This term implies a level of meticulous assembly and component selection that went beyond standard mass production, ensuring each W-30 engine met a higher performance standard. The hardware that defined the W-30 was a checklist of high-performance components. It started with a specific high-lift camshaft, but a critical detail distinguishes the 1971 models. While automatic-equipped cars received a slightly milder cam to suit the new regulations, those ordered with a 4-speed manual transmission retain the more aggressive, higher-duration cam profile from the legendary 1970 W-30. This was a deliberate choice by Oldsmobile engineers to cater to their most hardcore enthusiast buyers. The engine breathed through special H-designated cylinder heads and a lightweight W-455 aluminum intake manifold topped by a Rochester quadrajet 4-barrel carburetor. A defining feature of the W-30 was its functional outside air induction system, or OAI. This consisted of a distinctive fiberglass hood with two massive forward-facing scoops that fed cool, dense ambient air directly into a low-restriction air cleaner assembly. This ram air system was a core element of the package, providing a measurable performance benefit, especially at higher speeds. The horsepower figures for 1971 are often a point of confusion. Due to the mandated drop in compression ratio from 10.5 to 1 in 1970 to 8.5 to 1 for 1971, the W-30's official rating fell from 370 to 350 gross horsepower. This gross rating, measured on an engine stand without power-robbing accessories like the alternator, power steering pump, or a full exhaust system, was the industry standard prior to 1972. While the horsepower number was lower, the engine's prodigious torque remained, with sources listing it between 460 and 500 pound-feet, ensuring brutal off-the-line acceleration. Oldsmobile also began listing the more realistic SAE. To handle the Rocket 455's power, Oldsmobile offered a robust set of powertrain and chassis components. The ultimate choice for purists was the Muncie M22 close-ratio 4-speed manual transmission, famously known as the Rock Crusher for its gear strength and audible whine. For those who preferred two pedals, the heavy-duty TH400 3-speed automatic was a popular and durable option, often paired with the iconic Hurst His and Hers dual-gate shifter that allowed for either fully automatic or manual-style shifting. An interesting and rare option for manual cars was a dual-disc clutch that promised a longer service life and a 40% reduction in pedal effort compared to a conventional single-disc setup. Power was sent to a stout corporate 10-bolt rear axle with an optional even stronger 12-bolt available. The W-30 package mandated a posi-traction limited-slip differential with aggressive final drive ratios such as 3.73 to 1 to maximize acceleration. This potent combination was managed by the FE2 heavy-duty suspension package. This included higher-rate springs, firmer shock absorbers, and heavy-duty front and rear sway bars. Contemporary road tests from publications like Car and Track praised the 442's handling, noting that for a large, heavy car, its stability and cornering prowess were remarkably good, making it more than just a straight-line brute. The 1971 Oldsmobile 442 W-30 was designed to look as formidable as it performed. Its aesthetic was pure, unapologetic aggression. The front end was dominated by deep-set twin grills separated by a body-colored divider, giving it a menacing scowl. The body lines flowed into muscular rear haunches that emphasized the car's power, culminating in a sleek fastback roofline. The W-30 package amplified this presence with bold side striping and, most importantly, the functional OAI hood that served as the car's visual centerpiece and a clear warning to lesser vehicles. Inside, the cabin was driver-focused. While still offering the comforts of a GMA body, including high-back strato bucket seats and a center console, the emphasis was on the business of performance. A 4-spoke sport wheel and a clear, readable instrument panel with optional tick-tock tach, a combination tachometer and clock, put the driver in command. The overall impression was less about outright luxury and more about creating a cockpit for a serious driving machine. One primary driver of a classic car's value is its rarity, and the 1971 442 W-30 is an exceptionally rare vehicle. Its low production numbers are the bedrock of its blue-chip collector status. In total, just 920 vehicles were equipped with the W-30 package for the 1971 model year. This already small number becomes even more significant when broken down by body style. The majority were holiday coupes, with 810 units produced. The truly scarce variant is the convertible, with a mere 110 examples built. For the ultimate in rarity, finding one of the 32 convertibles equipped with a 4-speed manual is the goal for the most dedicated collectors. Buick always occupied a unique space within the General Motors hierarchy. positioned as a premium brand that offered a blend of performance, comfort, and sophistication. This philosophy was perfectly encapsulated in the Grand Sport, or GS models. The 1972 GS455 Stage 1 was the ultimate expression of this fast with class ethos, a car designed not as a bare-knuckle street fighter, but as a gentleman's express, capable of delivering overwhelming power with a level of refinement that its rivals could not match. The heart of the Buick's performance was its own distinct 455 cubic inch V8. Unlike the Oldsmobile Rocket 455 or the Chevrolet 454, the Buick 455 was renowned for its thin-walled casting design, which made it considerably lighter, a significant advantage in handling and acceleration. But its true claim to fame was its prodigious and immediate torque. The Buick 455 was engineered to produce massive pulling power at very low engine speed, giving it the freight train reputation that enthusiasts still celebrate today. The Stage 1 package was Buick's top-tier performance option, analogous to Oldsmobile's W-30. It transformed the already potent 455 into a true supercar engine. The package included specially machined cylinder heads with larger valves, 2.13-inch intake, 1.755-inch exhaust, and revised ports to improve airflow, a more aggressive camshaft for higher lift and longer duration, a specially calibrated 800 CFM Rochester Quadrajet carburetor, and a performance-tuned distributor with a more aggressive ignition curve. This combination was designed to maximize the engine's inherent torque-producing capabilities. To understand the 1972 Buick GS Stage 1, one must first understand the single most misinterpreted specification of the era, the switch to SAE net horsepower ratings. Officially, the 1972 Stage 1 was rated at a seemingly modest 270 horsepower. This figure, when compared to the 345 to 360 horsepower ratings of the 1970 to 71 models, appeared to represent a catastrophic loss of power. However, the reality is far more nuanced. The change from gross to net ratings was an industry-wide mandate for the 1972 model year, intended to provide consumers with a more realistic measure of engine output. The old SAE gross standard measured an engine's power on a dynamometer in a laboratory setting, stripped of its accessories, like the fan, alternator, and power steering pump, breathing through open headers, and tuned for maximum output. The new SAE net standard, by contrast, required the engine to be tested as installed in the vehicle, complete with its full air intake system, all engine-driven accessories, and the complete factory exhaust system. Therefore, the drop from the 1971 Stage 1's 345 gross HP to the 1972 model's 270 net HP was primarily a change in accounting, not a true 75 HP loss in performance. The true indicator of the Buick's power was its net torque rating, which remained immense at 390 pound-feet. This focus on low-end torque became a crucial advantage. While engines that relied on high compression and high RPMs to make power suffered greatly under the new regulations, the Buick's fundamental strength was in a part of the power band that was less affected. It could still generate immense cylinder pressure and thus incredible torque right off idle. Period dynamometer tests of the nearly identical 1970 Stage 1 engine consistently showed it producing well over 360 HP. The design of the 1972 Buick GS stood in contrast to the overt aggression of the Olds 442 W-30. Where the Olds was visually loud, the Buick was a master of subtlety. Its functional ram air system utilized smaller, more gracefully integrated hood scoops, and the car eschewed the wild stripe packages common on its competitors. Buick reserved its most flamboyant styling for the GSX package. The standard GS Stage 1 was for the discerning driver who preferred a sleeper, a car whose astonishing performance capabilities were not immediately obvious. This philosophy of refinement extended to the interior. The cabin of the GS was a clear step above the 442 in terms of luxury appointments. It featured plusher seating materials, higher quality trim, more extensive sound deadening, and an overall ambiance that reflected Buick's premium position in the market. It was a supremely comfortable long-distance cruiser that just happened to be one of the fastest production cars in the world. If the 1971 W-30 is rare, the 1972 GS455 Stage 1 is an endangered species. Its production numbers are astonishingly low, making it one of the most sought-after muscle cars of the final golden age. This extreme rarity is a cornerstone of its desirability and high value in the collector market. For the 1972 model year, a total of just 728 Stage 1 hardtops were produced. Of those, only 101 were equipped with a 4-speed manual transmission, while 627 had the automatic. The convertible is even scarcer, with a minuscule production run of only 81 units. Among those, a mere 15 were built with a 4-speed, making it a true holy grail for Buick collectors. Synthesizing road tests from the era provides a fascinating glimpse into how these cars were perceived when new. The 1971 Olds 442 W-30, despite the drop in compression, was still a formidable machine. Motor Trend tests showed it was one of the cars least affected by the switch to regular fuel, with a strong power range. Published quarter-mile times were typically in the mid to high 14-second range, with a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of around 6.5 seconds. However, tests of well-prepared prototype cars suggested that with proper tuning, times in the low 14s or even high 13s were achievable. The Buick GS Stage 1, however, was in a class of its own when it came to straight-line acceleration, largely thanks to its torque. In 1970, Motor Trend famously tested a stock Stage 1 and recorded a stunning 13.38-second quarter-mile at 105.5 miles per hour, a time that put it in the same league as the legendary Hemi Mopars. While the 1972 model was slightly detuned for emissions, it remained a high 13 to low 14-second car in capable hands. Modern pure stock muscle car drag race events confirm this potential, with well-driven 1972 Stage 1s consistently running deep into the 13-second bracket. The key to unlocking the Buick's performance was traction. Its immense torque could easily overwhelm the tires of the day, turning a potential victory into a cloud of smoke. Beyond the numbers, the driving experiences offered by these two cars are fundamentally different, reflecting their distinct personalities. Getting behind the wheel of the 442 W-30 is a raw mechanical event. The lumpy idle from the aggressive camshaft shakes the car, a physical reminder of the power within. With a manual transmission, the whine of the M22 rock crusher gears is an integral part of the soundtrack, accompanied by the sharp, aggressive bark of the dual exhaust. It is a car that feels connected, firm, and alive. It begs to be driven with purpose and rewards the driver with a multi-sensory performance that is the very definition of a classic muscle car. Sliding into the Buick GS Stage 1 provides a different sensation entirely. The cabin is quieter, more insulated from the mechanicals. The idle is smoother, betraying little of the beast that lies in wait. But when the throttle is depressed, the car surges forward with an authority that is almost shocking given its refined demeanor. It is the classic iron glove in velvet glove. The power delivery is not a violent explosion, but a smooth, relentless, and seemingly endless wave of torque that shoves you deep into the plush seat. It is less a feeling of mechanical fury and more a feeling of inexorable locomotive-like force, pulling with incredible strength from any RPM. This makes the winner of any contest highly dependent on the circumstances. On a prepared drag strip with sticky tires, the higher revving Olds might be launched effectively to achieve a slightly better elapsed time. On a typical street with period-correct tires, a skilled driver in the Buick could use its instant, massive torque to get an immediate jump, while a less skilled driver would simply spin the tires. This nuance is why the debate over which was faster continues to this day. The collector car market is in a state of dynamic change. Following a period of rapid appreciation, the market has seen a correction, with values for some segments, particularly mainstream 1960s classics, softening from their peaks. A significant driver of this evolution is a generational shift. While baby boomers have long dominated the hobby, enthusiasts from Generation X and the millennial generation are now reaching their peak earning years and becoming the market's primary growth engine. This shift influences which cars are most in demand, with a growing appreciation for cars from the 1970s, 80s, and 90s. In this competitive landscape, vehicles with exceptional rarity, ironclad documentation, and a compelling story, like the W-30 and Stage 1, stand out and command premium values. The market value of the 1971 Olds 442 W-30 is driven by a potent combination of its aggressive styling, the legendary W-30 performance package, and its documented rarity. It's a blue-chip collectible whose appeal is immediate and visceral. Recent auction results demonstrate a strong and stable market for top-tier examples, especially for the ultra-rare convertible models. The 1972 Buick GS455 Stage 1 occupies a special place in the market. Its value is underpinned by its king of torque reputation, its unique fast-with-class persona, and production numbers that make it even rarer than its Oldsmobile counterpart. It is often considered the connoisseur's choice, appealing to collectors who appreciate its sophisticated engineering and sleeper status. As with the W-30, documented numbers-matching examples command the highest prices, with convertibles and four-speed cars residing at the top of the market hierarchy. The 1971 442 W-30's value is anchored in its iconic status as one of the last truly aggressive-looking and performing muscle cars of the original era. Its appeal is broad, immediate, and easily understood. It is the quintessential last-stand muscle car, and its value should remain strong and stable, appreciating steadily over time. The 1972 GS455 Stage 1's investment potential may be even greater for the discerning collector. Its extreme rarity, combined with a more nuanced and complex performance story, makes it particularly compelling. As more enthusiasts and collectors become educated about the gross versus net horsepower debate and come to understand that the 72 Stage 1 was one of the most potent cars of its day, its reputation, and by extension its value, is likely to continue appreciating strongly. It is arguably the more undervalued of the two titans, not in absolute price, but in the recognition of its engineering cleverness. The market is not just buying performance, it is buying a story, and the Buick's tale of sophisticated, torque-driven dominance in a compromised era is a powerful one. In the final analysis, declaring an absolute winner between the 1971 Oldsmobile 442 W-30 and the 1972 Buick GS455 Stage 1 is a futile exercise. They were born from different philosophies, designed for different sensibilities, and offered distinctly different yet equally thrilling experiences. The choice between them is not a matter of superiority, but of personal values. The case for the 1971 Oldsmobile 442 W-30 is a case for raw, unadulterated muscle. It is the choice for the enthusiast who wants to see, hear, and feel every aspect of the performance equation. It is a car that wears its high-performance heart on its sleeve, with its aggressive stripes, roaring exhaust, and iconic ram air hood. It represents a final, defiant middle finger to the encroaching regulations and the end of an era, a purebred drag strip terror with an undeniable and unforgettable presence. The case for the 1972 GS455 Stage 1 is a case for refined power and engineering intelligence. It is the choice for the connoisseur who appreciates the masterful fusion of immense earth-moving torque with a level of comfort and sophistication that belies its capabilities. It is a testament to a smarter way of making power when the old rules no longer applied. The Stage 1 is the ultimate beast in a tuxedo, a car that could cruise the boulevard in quiet comfort and then with a push of the throttle humble nearly any challenger. It is the definitive expression of Buick's "fast with class" mantra. Ultimately, both of these cars are incredible and historically significant pieces of automotive history. They represent the absolute best of American muscle from two of GM's most storied divisions, each delivering a final glorious gasp of big block performance before the horsepower wars truly went cold. To have either one in a garage is to own a rolling testament to a legendary rivalry and a pivotal moment in time.